5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Over. This is Stan Tinsley speaking. I'm talking today to Mr. C. Russ Martin of Jacksonville, Tennessee, about his World War II experiences. This is August the 28th, 1991.
Do you remember what date that you entered the service? Yeah, we were there March 5th, 1940. At the Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Been in Georgia, and we were in the this, that's just a very Sure. I've been to Jim Brother, right? And I'm in good. I wouldn't be good. He was a crowd dressing crowd. And we were born out of New Jersey. Just in the 1923. And with the service, we joined together in March 5th, 1940. We finished the 18th Infantry, 13th Division, in Fort Benning, Georgia. And they put me in the 18th, and put me down the left front. And separated something else. Now, the home base for the 18th was in New York City. It's in Brooklyn, in Staten Island. And my twin brother was in Brooklyn. Down the local Brooklyn, and I was over in Staten Island. You were taken and that's the transfer into be with my brother. I mean, they granted to me. So he and I were together. We came out to make first class together and make a six store leader together. And the store leaders, they held us apart. They made him a store leader and left me a different store leader, a different squad. I had third squad of the first opinion, he had the first squad of the second opinion. And the reason down there was trying to but the men in our squad were good. They had been really that much, but they showed how to play. So you all were benefit too. Now, when you were up there in New York, did you already have the training and just on Fort Benning? No, we really done it back in line, on the training. All the new recruits coming in for this. Everyone was all out and go to little areas. They was in Gibrat down in Georgia. And it was going on maneuvers down in Louisiana. So it was 2 weeks of full-forward drill and had to conduct yourself as a soldier after this. This is all we got. And after it started on maneuvers and all, and then we picked it up in the company themselves. Whatever squad you were in, the team, the squad leader, team fighting. So you're really responsible for your training, right? They train. So we trained on with you. We sort of had lines. Was that still in 1940 when you went in 1940? We was on the road about a month. So the month of June, probably May. Anyway, in June, I think we left on the back of the truck from Louisiana all the way to New York City. And that was a long ride. Oh, it's a long ride. Back in the truck. I was talking to one of the boys the other night. He went in that same one I did. They basically figured it took us better than 2 weeks to make that trip. Because we stopped over the night. And you couldn't travel on a weekend. Saturday and Sunday. You got to stay over in a bit right there wherever you at, just sent out here. How come you couldn't travel on the weekend? They, Army didn't want to do that on kind of going through the towns, you know. Especially on Saturdays, you know, back then everybody was doing it. So they didn't want to have a town after the time was through. And then, of course, on Sunday, they said it was a Sabbath day, and all for the kids go be religious. This is still in 1940. Now, what things years and road decided to say? Well, I guess they came back out of service and down Lake City. We lived in Lake City at the time. And he looked like he was talking. I mean, we talked to him, and he kind of encouraged us. It was a good thing to do. Stay with 20 to 30 years and retire. And that's what we were trying to do. We were going to we were going to stay in every time. And I was going to stay in too, but my mother taught me coming out and staying around. And when I got out, I needed to go back. Okay, now, after New York, well, they started training us on business courses. In other words, we served on board ships, and we went down the coast of sometimes in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. And we didn't pay this stuff. We would get on the train and go back up. And sometimes we didn't pay the beach, you know. And then they get back on the ship and get back in New York City. So on back to 41, they wanted to hold the region together instead of splitting out where, you know, it was all separated. So they opened Fort Devens, Massachusetts, and we moved up to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. At Fort Devens, we done about the same thing, you know, in our training and all. It's cold winter up there. Now, I guess that's one reason we moved us up there. Got cold winter started, and we had winter training during the winter. And it would get down real cold in that part of the country. And we still come out of there. We'd bring it down to New York City on a train, and we'd load on a ship, and out in the ocean we'd go to there and invade again and go back. So on the just before August the 2nd in 1942, we had orders to go overseas. So they took most of the division in New York City and put us on the Queen Mary. So the Queen Mary was loaded with us so bad, so many troops on there, that you slept down in the hole one night and up on deck the next night. That's how many troops were on that Queen Mary. And of course, they pulled us out of New York Harbor on August 2nd, 1942, headed for England. And I think we made it in 5 days. And I remember one time we was way out in the ocean there somewhere, and she made a left turn off her head, you know. We kept asking, said, "What'd you do that?" You know. So finally we found out. They thought they spotted the German sub. Mm-hmm. So the Queen Mary could outrun them. Yeah, Queen Elizabeth either one. They were using both of them. And so they docked in England, and we got off the ship, and they took us out to the field out there, and we lived back in We put tents right there in them. We stayed less than a month, I guess, somewhere around there in England. And then they moved us up next to Glasgow, Scotland. And I always liked the Scottish people up there than I do the English people. Yes, I do.
I've heard that people say that. On where were you when December 7th, 41? You know.
We were on maneuvers. We'd come off of the landing in North Carolina. And we were in bivouac area at the back of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, just prior to December 7th. So my brother and I, what they done, we were getting ready to go back to Fort Davis, Massachusetts. So the company commander said, if anybody wants to delay en route, can have it 3 or 4 days, you know. So my brother and I, we took the delay en route. And we came from there over to home in Lake City.
Yeah.
And on Sunday morning, when Pearl Harbor was bombed, we went to church that morning. And that afternoon, well, we started down the street down there in Lake City, and everybody kept hollering at us. Said, hey, did you know that Pearl Harbor was bombed? And said, the president said for every military person to get back on their post. I said, yeah. I said, we hear this, but we're not going till Tuesday. Well, they said, go now. I said, no, we're not going till Tuesday because we know what we're doing. You know, because we had a delay en route, and we knew where they were at.
Yeah.
They were en route from North Carolina back to Fort Bragg. I mean, to Fort Davis, Massachusetts. So we, at Tuesday morning, we got up and left. Got off the bus and went on to Fort Davis, Massachusetts, and we just about beat them there, and we got there. So we knew what we were doing.
You know, it's interesting. I thought that the Marines did all this invading, and then the Army would come in after to establish the beachhead.
No.
Because they really not. Because, you know, I haven't been told it this way before.
No, the 1st Division, we invaded North Africa. And to my knowledge or anything, there was no Marines or any other around Oran. That's where we invaded at. In fact,
that's kind of when you get to tell me about the Scotland.
Now the Scotland, we were on maneuvers there. And so they put us on a board ship, and we went across the peninsula there, or water there, and we invaded Ireland. And we went up on the moors, what they call the moors of Ireland. That's a hillside.
Right.
You probably know more about it than I do.
No, I don't know about anything other than what I've read, you know.
That the water comes down that mountain at all times. It flows from the top all the way down. And you can walk right up the side of the mountain there, and you're walking in water. You know, shoe top, so over your shoe soles or whatever, you know. But you can feel it, you know that you're in water. We came to a little stream there about so wide, you know, just, and what we were doing was taking our packs off and our rifles. We'd throw them across and jump across that, you know. A lot of times we jumped with the rifle, you know. Or some of the boys were jumping, you know, but anyway. This one old boy I had, he's a BAR boy, you know, and I got all the equipment off of him and threw it across. I said, all right, now jump. He did. He jumped out and got square down the middle that time he went. And the water was over his waist.
Is that right?
Yeah. It was peculiar to, you know,
Yeah.
know that there's water running down that mountain. And the moors of Ireland. So we went back, we over there at next to Scotland.
Glasgow, Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ordered us to move, so we moved out and they put us on board ship. Somewhere in October. I know we sailed for 28 days up and down the Atlantic Ocean because it would be cold this day, and then a day or two later it'd be hot. So you come in cold ways to hot ways.
Back and forth.
This back and forth. It's still on the front. What they were doing is gathering up all invasion forces. Invade North Africa, and it was all out there just running around there. We had been on board ships so many times that you'd think we sailors.
Yeah, I started to say, I know.
You had a storm. See, we was in a storm out there. Well, in fact, 28 days, you're going to get 2 or 3 storms, several days. And we had one bad storm. And the old ship was really rocking. And we could get around on that ship just about as good as them sailors could. And seasickness, we'd done over that. I've been seasick 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Not very long. But I was over that. But, it's a bad storm when the little destroyer got out from you there. This time you can see him, the next time you can't see him, It's a big wave. Anyway, then we went through the Mediterranean Sea, right to draw, up to just past Old England. That's where we stopped and we invaded North Africa on the morning of the 8th of November 1942. And so we got off board ship. Let me tell you something else that's kind of peculiar. While on board that ship, they fed us mutton every day. Sheep, mutton. And we was getting so sick and tired of it that we was just about ready to, hey, forget it. I don't want to eat more of that stuff, But the last night that we was on that ship, they brought each one of us, when we went through the chow line, they gave each one of us a big steak. And I mean, it was, I don't know, inch thick, I guess. It was a big fella. It was more than what you wanted to eat. And we asked him, said, Brother Warren, where's all this meat being? He said, back on the cooler all this time. But they've been feeding us that mutton where they got it off the English. But anyway, that morning, we got off the ship down on the landing barges and headed out. And when we started in toward land where we stopped, and I guess I'd been a non-commissioned officer, I was up there next to one of the sailors, it was on the landing barge. I asked him, I said, what was probably stopping for? And he said, we got 2 or 3 minutes that we have to wait. If we don't, them ships back there is going to open up. If they hear any fire at all, or whatever, if we hit something, they start firing, they'll open up. Now, they'll fire until that particular time, and then they'll quit firing, we can go on in then. So during that time, we drifted. So when we went in, it was about 2 miles off the beach where we were supposed to hit it. And the first wave that went in, I was in the second boat, I guess it was, what you call it. But anyway, we hit the beach. Well, that first boat was supposed to clean the beach. And we were supposed to march right on through them. We got on the beach, they wasn't started for a shot fired. The fellas that cleaning the beach got back around and come in the back of the beach of what we were supposed to do. And there they were. They were sitting there waiting on us. That's how good the intelligence was. Our intelligence was pretty good too.
Well, tell me this again now. You'd been drifted about 2 miles out of position.
2 miles out of yeah.
And then when you hit the beach,
we didn't hit nothing.
nothing was fired, and you didn't have any opposition.
No opposition.
where was the
opposition was back on the beach it was supposed to hit.
was back on the beach it's supposed to hit?
Yeah.
You'd have had plenty of it, evidently.
We'd had plenty of it, we sure would. They were sitting up there waiting for us, yeah.
And was there another boat, a group of boats that were supposed to come in right where you all were? But y'all
Yeah.
went in together. You drifted.
All of us is going in together.
Yeah. When you drifted together.
We all drifted together, yes.
So when you hit the beach, wasn't anybody there because they didn't know you were coming, right?
They didn't know we were going to hit that. No, they knew where we were going to hit at. So that's where we were supposed to hit.
Yeah.
That's where they were at.
Right.
But we had drifted downstream, farther east, and went in. That's just one of those things, you know.
They knew a lot about what we were getting ready to do, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they knew what we were getting ready to do. So we hit the beach and went on, and there's a little town by the name of St. Cloud. It's not on the maps of today. I imagine old Rand has expanded enough to where it's tucked that little town in, because it's only 3 to 5 miles away from old Rand. Something like that. But anyway, that's where we hit the opposition at. We went down, we was going down the railroad track, and there's a road over here, and there's a graveyard in between. And we found it. Well, there's a group going down the road, beside the road over here, and a group going down beside the railroad track, and they're going toward this St. Cloud, which was out on the outskirts of the town. And then they waited till the whole body got up pretty close to the graveyard, or up in the graveyard, close. And then they opened fire. That's where my company. And so we could see the fire coming out of those trees. And so we immediately opened up on it. And it didn't, we knocked them out pretty quickly. And I think we lost 4 men. The company commander, my platoon sergeant, and 3 or 4 other boys.
4 men out of about how many?
Huh?
4 men out of about how many?
Oh, there's somewhere around 150. So we didn't do good there. We knocked them out. Yeah. And come to find out, after we'd cleaned that out, the fire and stopped, we're examining those trees, and the Germans had those, French and Germans, they had them chained and locked up in them trees. And also in the graveyard, they had holes dug down in around the graves, and they were down in there. And they'd stick their head out there and fire at us, and so we finally got them out of there. And then in town, where they started down through there with it, they were pretty heavy on it. I don't know how many Germans were hit there, or how many French were hit, but there was enough of them, they held us up. Going on into Old Rand. We were going into the back door of Old Rand, what we was going to do, and try to. So they held us up there the 8th and 9th and 10th. Because on the morning of the 11th, I had orders to take my squad, which I was only assistant squad leader, but the boy that they made squad leader, they wouldn't follow him, they wanted to follow me. So he'd have to get the information and relay it to me, and I'd tell the men. So they told us to go around town and go on down to Old Rand because they need some help down there. So that's where I was at that morning, going around St. Cloud and going on. And platoon that my brother was in was second platoon. I was in first platoon. This platoon was to stay there in town and try to mop up any other Germans that was there. So, now we'd been all through this town. All of us had, just about all of us. In fact, I met my brother, him and his squad the night before, right down the middle of this town. And so that morning, he was going to go down in town to see if he could find any more Germans. And they'd set a machine gun up. So as my brother and his scouts came out of the alleyway and started up the street, they waited till four of them got out there. And my brother and the guy on his side was laying facing the gun, the other two was laying facing back in the way. And he had put 13 bullets from his waistline right across his heart, right out his shoulder. He had 13 bullets in him. And, you know, that's one thing the twins know about. We feel for one another. And the minute he got killed, I knew it. Because I could just feel a sensation and kind of a relief. You know, I'm worrying about him, you know, but I didn't have to worry about him anymore. So by that time, I got to down into Oran, and they'd give up on morning of 11, North Africa. Now, but there's we was in an old building down there in Oran, waiting to come back, you know, because it was over. And as a boy walked up to me and said, "You know, your brother got killed." I said, "Yes, I do." Now, this wasn't an ordinary soldier. This boy was clean shaved. He was clean. His face was, you know. He was carrying a rifle and a pad just like you were. I've often thought, and I know, he was an angel.
He didn't look like the rest of you guys.
No, he didn't look like the rest of us. He was an angel coming telling me.
Well, you know, strange things happen in this world. Things that there's no logical explanation for.
Right.
They happen every day. Well,
I don't know. It's just, but I know it was.
after your brother was killed, was it just too much of a shock for you to go on there for a period of time?
No,
just kept right on
I
going?
think by my army training and the help of the everybody, it hit me along. Our company commander, the other company commander, when I got killed, the first lieutenant took over. And that was the first thing he done when he called me over to his tent. He said, "You're now a sergeant." If you'd been left up to me, he said, I made both of them a sergeant at the same time. They said, "You got your brother's food." So anyway, he done one thing that I deeply appreciate is, he put on his death certificate, plus the other boys that got killed that morning, the four of them. He put on the 10th that they died on, they got killed on the 10th rather than 11th. He says, that way your mother will have no worry or no in collecting the insurance and all this stuff. So that's what he done. So we sent all his stuff home. All this medals and all this, his personal belongings. And I sent some of mine too.
That's a real tragedy, I'll tell you.
Well, war is something else, you know. It has to be so many killed and so many.
Three, two,
I think we're talking about the couple things. Made and even the captain trade. So as we got through there, you know, I said my brother, they give my brother, my brother's son, funny. We regrouped and there was a lot of replacements. So I think there's 13. We lost 13 in that flight. Out of the country. And then the truck camps. And we had certain areas we had to keep the constant control on. And I've been on that patrol a couple times. But I knew midnight shift. I was going way after midnight. And was in a Jeep and was patrolling this area. And I go back road like it. And boy, from the Jeep got a machine gun on it. And I had the machine gun on myself in the driver. The four from the Jeep. You see something white way down the road. It looked like it's moving. Machine gun, he wanted to open up on me. I said, "Why don't you do that?" I said, "Now wait a minute." Well, if we kill somebody or kill one of these natives and one of their own goats or you know, or donkeys, we had it. So we kept eating long and I was getting scared because I couldn't tell what it was. It was just a big white something that was just moving. It wasn't more like a ghost. You know? We kept using on that and using on that. And this tail is moving. We got up there pretty close to it and we just walked right on by. And we could see that man's head out of the top of it. What it was one of those mattress covers. And what we used them for was stuffing full of straw. And we sleep on it. You know? Mm-hmm. And what our cooks were doing, they were swapping those mattress covers to those native people, you know, North Africans, for eggs or chickens or whatever they could get. And what they were doing, they were cutting holes in it. They took their heads up through it and their arms out, you know. And you can imagine how that thing looked when you come in. Yeah. But anyway, now that boy trying to kill him. All people could have been that. So it's been, yeah, they had a court martial. Probably. Anyway, then, that's the 1st of December, they moved south. We started toward the front, toward where we were fighting at. That's up in Tennesseans. And then down that, all down to there, the British, most of the fighting more male down in that area. And we fought pretty up the British out. And we got up there on about the 20th, I guess, December, and then worked our way on that. And on the 22nd, the night of the 22nd, we was up there next to the lines, and we're coming off the desert, getting the hills. What we call hills, they call it mountains or whatever. They were just good sized hills. And this first few of them didn't have a tree on at all. It was just all bare, nothing but rocks. And we were up on this first one, and we leave the bridge was supposed to get there. So they pulled back and took some rest. So we didn't start up that mountain until the morning of the 23rd. And when my chief scout hit the top of the mountain, he fired 2 shots. And when he jumped back to where I talked to him, I said, "Hey, what's the matter?" And he said, "I just killed me a German." I didn't know German depicts. He said, "There is too." I said, "I just killed one." So I said, "Let's go, get it on across here." And at that time, we started with the machine guns in the phone. So the higher knob when we was up there. It opened up right straight down on us. And there's some rock there, and that's all we could do is just stay behind those rocks. And every time you stick your head up, that thing opened up on you, machine gun. So that time it was getting daylight. And the assistant squad leader carries the grenade rifle. So I knew he hadn't fired for many of them. And I asked him, he said, "Sergeant, I bet you fired because you know more, you fired long than I have." I said, "Well, pass it up here." So he passed the rifle in one round. And I shot it and went over the top of it. Machine gun. I said, "Pass another one up there. I'll be trying to give you this time." So when he started firing off away from us, I put my head up behind that rock and let it fly. And I got it that time. I got in there. I knew it was because it seems firing quick. And so this rifle fire was, Germans firing rifles at us, and they still couldn't move. But it wasn't just a few seconds or a few minutes there. A machine gun started up again. Uh-oh. Pass me another grenade up there. I think I can get him again. Sorry, I don't have any more. That's all I had. Uh-oh. And our ammunition began to run low because we didn't have that much ammunition to move. There's no tanks, nothing behind us. The tanks hadn't even got off the ships yet. So, and there was nothing back there behind us. We was just out there by ourselves, So, anyway, this German speaks perfect English, and he said, "You fellas want to give up?" He said, "You better come on. If you don't, I'm going to turn artillery loose on you." And let's go behind the next hill at artillery, because he'd been firing at us all this time. In fact, the night before that, we were out there pretty close to the mountain where we was just laying out there waiting for orders to move ahead. And they were firing at us all night. So, and there was one come in, I could hear him, see when they were whistling. As soon as that whistling, if that whistling stops, look out, you're going to get hit. Or it's coming in close to you. And if you're whistling, it kind of tangles out and just, kind of, heard that. He's going on. It's going on over. Don't worry about it. Boy, that can come up and that whistling stop the deal right quick. Look out, boys. And I know I bounced a foot off that ground. And where that thing hit, I don't know. Because we left out there before daylight and couldn't see where it hit. But I asked around, they said, "No, didn't get us, Sarge. We're all right." Okay, it must have hit pretty close to something around here. But I think the Lord knew that time ago. He got it out there away from us. That sounds right. If it went off, it got about all of us, I guess. Yeah, I got a few of us in. You think it was a dud? It's a dud. It's a dud. Hit the ground, that's it. Something else I want to ask you about, which I don't understand. A lot of people may not either. Back when you were talking
after your brother was killed, he was talking about the lieutenant marking it the 11th rather than the 10th.
Mark the 10th, rather than
10th rather than 11th. I didn't follow what that was supposed to do and why.
Well, see, they signed peace treaty, or North Africa gave up on the 11th. Morning of the 11th.
Yeah.
All right, now when if they would have been a question asked there, did them boys get killed before peace was signed or after?
Right.
Now, if it was signed after peace was signed, well then they wasn't killed during the war.
Yeah, right. Could have really been a bad thing.
Yeah. So what he done, he backed the North to the 10th, and then there's no questions asked because when you look at the write up on it now, well, our is what signed the one in the 11th.
Right. Okay.
They were killed on the 10th.
I just didn't follow. I didn't realize that the war fighting was over.
That particular battle, North Africa gave up. So
Okay, let's go back to where you were there in the bed season.
well, anyway, he was up on the side of that hill, and the German hollered at us that you either give up or I'll turn artillery loose on you. So the only thing we could do was just give up because he was down here and the top of the hill was up here, and the Germans were all up on top of it.
So he speaks English as good as anybody.
He speaks perfect English. I thought he was one of ours when he first started hollering, you know. And so, but anyway, we gave up, and so it took us from there over to on into Tunis.
When was it?
This was on the 23rd. 23rd of December, 1942. And they took us over to there, and on the 24th, I guess it was, they started interviewing us. And they take you over into just a room, and there's a German officer there. And he could speak perfect English. In fact, he was a college graduate out of New York City. And after the interview was over and all, he came out there and was talking to us. So I asked him what made him go back. And he says, "Do you know that Germany is going to rule the world?" And he still believed that.
Really?
Yeah. He says, "Germany's going to rule this whole world." And he said, "I want to be in on it."
Yeah.
You know? And he told us he was college graduate out of New York City. And you could tell it too because he was smart. You tell. See, I was a sergeant, so the name, rank, and serial number was always supposed to give. So he called me in there, and there was a guard on each side of me. He was sitting there, and he says, "What's your name?" So I just gave him my name, rank, and serial number. He said, "How many in the outfit?" I said, "Name, rank, and serial number, sir, is all he's supposed to have." I said, "I'm not supposed to give you anything else." Oh, he got mad. He acted like he'd get mad, He could do it too. And he said, "I'll have them guards take you out there and put you for firing squad." I said, "Well, that's your privilege, sir." I said, But he done got all the information he want because he began to tell me. he began to tell me what outfit I was out of and how many men we had and all this. They knew all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Probably knew it before he even got up the front line.
Yeah,
But anyway, so he was pretty nice to talk to after he got through exam, question all of it. He come out there and where he's at, and he talked to us. And he's real nice. Real nice person, real fellow to talk to. But he still believed that Germans going to win that war.
Yeah.
Anyway, that 23rd, 24th, and then Christmas morning, Christmas Day, we had a big dinner for Christmas, you know. I had a piece of that German sausage about as big as your thumb and about that long. You know, it's only about 2 inches long. And a piece of bread. And some sauerkraut. We had a little bit of sauerkraut. That's all we had.
Christmas, huh?
That was Christmas dinner, yeah. And of course, that morning we only had a little piece of bread and a piece of cheese. A real small piece too. I mean, they're young.
Yeah.
A couple of bites and it's gone. And coffee, they didn't have any coffee at all. It's just that chicory. You were drinking chicory.
No, I've heard of it.
You know, that's what they had. And that's about all we had for the whole day. You know. So anyway, they moved us out and we put us on a little old ship, crammed us down that hole, and I mean they crammed us in there like you was talking. You know, but anyway, they crammed it full, but we only had a short distance to go. See, from
I guess North Africa.
North Africa there, at Tunisia, at Tunis rather, across to Sicily. It's a short distance across there, you know. But I understand it almost got sunk twice while we was going across.
Is there?
Yeah. And, but we got across and got into Palermo. They got us off of there and marched us through Palermo and went up on the mountain behind Palermo into a makeshift camp up there, which they called it Camp 98. It was the only food that we had while we were there was a little cup of chicory and a piece of bread, maybe a piece of cheese of a morning, little piece. And then late that afternoon, you got a cup of soup. Now, the soup consists of whole big stalks of greens. I don't know exactly what it was. I thought it was ragweed the way it looked. And some rice was in it, and I guess barley and stuff like that. You know. But there's more water than there was anything else.
Yeah.
And you got a piece of bread with it, and that's all we had all day. I weighed about 170 pounds when I got captured. We stayed there about a month, and I bet you I didn't weigh over 100 pounds. What made me feel so sorry for my BAR boy was about a 215-pound fellow, but he was short, and he was real fat, you know, short. And he went down to about 100 pounds, about like I did, like this, you know. And he was pitiful to look at. You know? It just, the old skin was just hanging on him, you know. So, but anyway, we survived that one. And they finally took us out of there and put us on board train down in Palermo and took us up into Italy, into what they call a Camp 59 in Italy. That's on the east side, across from Rome, just about straight across from Rome. That's where the camp was at. And there, we began to get a little bit better situated because they give us American Red Cross parcel there. They give it to you, you know, you buddied up. You get yours on Monday, and your buddy gets his on Thursday. You know, like there are Tuesdays and Fridays. You know, that split it out. And, but the canned goods, now it's about 7-8 pounds in that parcel. And there's cans of meat and a can of condensed milk in there, and some other cans, you know, this, that, and the other. There's a little bit of a candy bar, 2 packs of cigarettes. Now that cigarettes is real good because that's trading material, you know, this. And sometimes it's a can of tobacco, cigarette papers. And but what they do, they punch 2 holes into every can. Everything that they give you, they punch 2 holes in it, you know, in a metal can or anything like this. They done that to keep it from you hoarding it up. saving it up, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to eat it right away.
Yeah, that's right.
You couldn't,
Yeah, right.
you wouldn't keep it because it would, you know,
Who
sour.
placed the holes in it?
The guards.
That's
Before they give it to you. You know? Yes, sir. That's it. They had control of it, you know, but the Red Cross, I think, had control of the packages that make sure they get there, you know how it is. That's national, international, whatever you call it, Red Cross. But anyway, we'd get a Canadian package or American package. Now, they both consisted of about the same. There wasn't that much difference between either one of them. But we didn't gain no weight hardly, but we survived on it.
Did you ever get packages from home?
I got one package.
Did you?
Yeah, I got one package from home. And my mother said she sent 3 or 4, but I got the one. That's all I got.
When she sent this package, did she know you were a POW?
Yeah.
And have your address and so forth?
Yeah, because as soon as we got to Camp 98 in Cisco, well, we had to fill a card out. And in fact, I think we filled 2 cards out. One of them went to the United States government, or you know, whichever was supposed to be going to, and then the other one was to be mailed home. Yes,
Listen.
and she knew I was a prisoner of war. First, she got a telegram that I was missing in action, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, she got the letter that I'd written out of camp, and it told me that I was a few different and prisoner of war, and she knew the address. I mean, it was right on.
Well, she had tough luck, didn't she?
Yeah.
One son killed, another one
Well,
prisoner of war.
she had pretty tough luck. Yeah. Anyway, they worked some of the boys there in that camp. You know, each camp they kept. Down in 98, we done road work down there. We carrying rock, threw them into a road, there. And up in 59, Camp 59 was at it. I didn't do any work, but I was over a group of men. Each sergeant or above had a group of men that was working. But that was in January 43 when we were in there. So if you remember, in the 1st of September of 43, the Allies had invaded southern Italy. They'd already taken Sicily, North Africa, Tunis, Tunisia, all them had already fell. They'd taken all that. And then Palermo, they had invaded southern Italy about the 1st of September of 43. It started up through there, and when they did, the Italians signed a peace treaty. Now, the Royalists signed with the Allies a peace treaty, and of course, the fascists were still for the Germans. And it was the word we got in camp. We had pretty good sources of getting word into camp. We had some Italian. In fact, I had 2 boys in my squad that could speak Italian.
Oh, really?
One of them could speak it real good, the other could speak it some. So anyway, when they told us that, well then word come there late one afternoon, about the 10th, 11th of August or September, that if anybody wanted to leave camp, that the back gate would be opened. Now the Italian guards was going to open that gate for us. So they did. They opened the gate, but the Germans, there's some Germans around there too. And, so when they hollered, word came down through that the gate was open. Just the word of mouth, coming on down. I come out of that barracks and I hit. Boy, they give us about 20 minutes warning of it, that gate was going to be open, So I gathered up what I had, head for that gate. And firing got so hot up there that bullets were hitting around me, and I had to turn and come back. See, me and my buddy was going to go together. That was my assistant squad leader. We were going to go together. I lost him, and he lost me on that first trip. See, I tried it again, and that bullets flying all over the place. I fell, come back down to the barracks. See, this barracks is all the way up through there. And we were in hut 2 down here, and there's about 3 other huts up through there. So the back gate back here, I had to get back behind them buildings. So the third time I said, I'm gone. This time I know. So when I got on my feet, started, I lost everything because I was running. I think everybody did. And I never stopped. I got way on outside behind that gate. And there was bullets flying around. Even after we got way on out there, there's bullets flying. But then we got out of the reach of them. I was soaked down. Over there was a creek come down through there. Well, we knew that if you go upstream, you're going to higher ground, And that's where we wanted to go. We want to go west, Get away from that camp before we could. So we got up there somewhere. I don't know, we walked about all night. Got up that stream. Next morning, in daylight, we kept easing on up that, the time we got way on up yonder and stopped, but there's quite a few had huddled in together, see, quite a few of us. And there was a couple of them could speak Italian, and they'd scatter out and go around up to the houses, and was talking to some of the people, and it was mostly royalist. See, Italian has 2 classes of people, royalist and fascist. All right, the royalist, that's the Allied side. The fascist is the German side. As long as you're talking to a royalist, you're in good shape. But the fascists will turn you in, try to get you turned in, whatever. Get the Germans down there on you, kill you. We knew that the Germans and the fascists got a hold of you, you was dead. Or either they'd, take you and turn you over to it, and you send you on into Germany. But we managed to stay out there. The word came that the Allies had stopped there. So they were going up there and listening to the radio. And the Allies stopped, and they wouldn't advance. What's coming off here? What are they doing that for? To come on, They're only a few hundred miles down the road. They can get right on through here, But they stopped, and then said, well, we can't stay here together like this. We're going to have to bust out. So the 3 of us went together and we owned up in there somewhere and run into an old boy, and he was a royalist, and he'd feed us some and pretty close to the house up there if we'd have him do some work. That's all he wanted. He was work out of us. So we finally said, well, we've had about enough of this, and we're going up the line somewhere. So, and we figured that 3 of us together is too many. 2 together is all right. You can make it by yourself or you and another one. But 3, that's too many. Too many together. Because the Italian people didn't have anything to eat. Germans already bled them to they would just come out. They didn't have enough to hardly live on. So the 3 of us were busted up, and the boy that that I'd got with lived over in Greenville, Tennessee, and he and I stayed together. And the other boy was from West Virginia, Culpeper, Virginia. He took off his himself and went up towards Monte St. Martina. "Oh, we're not going up there to that town. We'll stay away from towns." He said, "I'm going up close to that town just to see what it is up there." He was kind of a curious fellow, anyhow. So me and Floyd Peters, we took off, went the other way, on out. And we went into a family up there that would give us a little bite to eat. And it's an elderly man and a woman, and their son and his wife and little boy.